up everybody, this is Emmanuel from Dimensions Photography, and today the tutorial that we're going to touch up on is how to edit your wedding pictures to make them look nice and bright and luminous and make them look very nice for your clients. So let's get right into it. Hey, what's up everybody? So let's get right into this tutorial. So as I mentioned, we're going to look up on how to edit some type of wedding photography. So of course there's many styles of wedding photography that you can do. There's creative, there's family, there's classic, vintage, all that, but I'm just going to show you one style, which is I guess the basic look that you would get, which is this kind of look. It's very warm, very light, clean, bright look. If you look at the original image, you get something like that. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys really quick how to touch up these pictures. So first what I'm going to do is create a virtual copy. I'm just going to make another copy of the same picture. This way what I can do is reset the settings, start from scratch, and not lose my original edit. So the first thing that you definitely want to do, and I'll say from the beginning, is you definitely want to take good pictures. Alright, Lightroom, Photoshop cannot save lives. It can only help make a good picture better. Alright, so as we get into it, the first thing that you do usually in these wedding pictures, what you get is that warm look. So you just go right here as the temperature from the beginning, and you just bring that up. So you see, as you bring it up, it's giving it that warm feel. So depending on your taste, bring it up to wherever you want. I wouldn't do it too orange. Maybe bring the reds in a little bit, just get some more natural color in there. Okay, so now that we got that, now you see here we have a good picture, but it's kind of low exposed. So if you bring the exposure up, it helps, but now everything else is getting blown out. Okay, so this is where you want to use your other sliders. That contrast, as you know, is gonna bring the difference between the shadows and the whites a lot lower. So if I bring it up, yeah, we don't want to do that, right? So we're gonna bring it down. You get a very natural, soft look. Depending on the look you want, you can bring the highlights up and just kind of like blast it. I wouldn't recommend too much depending on the look that you're going for. But this is definitely the one you want to look at, the shadows. So you notice this area here, we definitely want to bring more life to that. So if I go to my shadow slider, bring it to the right. See how I fixes it? It's kind of like if I had a fill light or if I had a flash there. So I would leave it just about there, just enough. Okay, play with the whites. I don't want it too bright because it messes with the orange color. And then since you brought the shadows up, what I usually do is I bring the blacks down, and that just gives it a bit more contrast to the photo. It doesn't make it look all flat. So I mean, this is the basic edit that you would give to it. Again, you would play with the clarity. I'll show you in a little bit how to do that. If you bring the clarity up, as you know, it's going to make it a lot sharper in a sense. But in these kind of photos, you usually want to bring the clarity down so that it looks more dreamy. Okay. The only problem with that is that if you bring it all the way down, then her face also gets blotted out, and we don't want that. So I'm going to show you a way to still make it look dreamy without messing up her face. So double click, it goes back. The vibrance, if you bring it up, it's going to bring all the colors up, which you always want to do when it comes to, you know, wedding. You want to get nice bright colors in there. I'm not going to bring it up too much. So as you see, then there's a lot of orange. So what I'll do is here in the color sliders, Now there's HSL, color, black and white. Play with it, you'll learn what it does. When you go to the colors, I always go down to my orange, and the luminance I bring up. The reason I do this is because usually the skin tone is recognized as orange. So as I bring it up, what this is going to do is give more light to the subject, which also corrects any imperfections that she might have on the face. Also, if you think it's too orange, you bring saturation down a little bit. You might just give it a little bit more of a faded, more natural look. If you bring it up, it doesn't look good, so we're just going to bring it down a little bit. Okay, so you see we pretty much fixed a lot of the problems that existed. Another thing that we can do is also, of course, play with your curves. And it's just to give a little bit more, you know, light certain areas depending on the look that you're actually going for. I'm not going to play with this too much. Sometimes you just bring it up from the middle, you get a lot more light. But I'll do it very moderately. So if you see from the beginning picture, let me see here, the before. Sorry about that, it's taking a little bit slowed. Okay, so we have here the before picture, right? And then we come back. We have after. Oh, my computer's a bit slow today. I mean, it's slow every day, but you guys don't know that, so I'm just gonna act like today it's a glitch and it actually runs pretty fast. So this is how I basically edit my pictures. One other thing that I would do, you definitely want to use sharpening. I'm not going to go into detail how to sharpen, I'll do that in a little bit, but bring up the sharpen just to bring out the eyes a little bit, the mouth, the lips. So now to get that dreamy look, as I mentioned before, one thing you always want to do is bring out the subject. So we're going to use a radial filter. And we're actually going to make two radial filters. So the first radial filter that we're going to do is going to be concentrated on our subject's face. So if you see, when I highlight over it, you can see the area, the red area, is where it's going to be affected. So we're going to turn that backwards. And it's going to bring this up. Actually, if you hit the comma button, it changes if the inner circle gets affected or if the outer circle. Another way that you can do that is by hitting here, invert mask. And that also changes if it's inside or affecting the outside. So right now it's going to affect the inside. Actually, no, we want it to affect the outside, and I'll tell you why. So as we affect the outside, one thing that we're going to do is bring down the exposure. That's just going to bring the background a little bit deeper. And then now here what we're going to do is go down to the clarity. Pump this all the way left. And then we get kind of that dreamy background. Okay, so now what we're going to do is actually, since we want our subject's face to be a little bit more brighter, we're going to click here, right click, duplicate. But now what it does is it duplicated the outer edge. We don't want that. So we're going to hit comma. Now it's duplicating everything inside. So we're going to bring all these settings back. And the only thing we're going to do is bring up the exposure just a bit. And we get a lot more light in her face. So if I go back before and after, we can see it's a great difference, and it's a beautiful picture, right? So one thing that you can do, so this is kind of the ways that I edit my wedding pictures. And the cool thing about this is that since you usually get 1,000 wedding pictures, if the wedding picture has kind of the same exposure setting, meaning like in this room it's the same place, what you can do actually is go right here to the left side and go to copy settings, copy the white balance treatment, everything else, right? So this one I don't want the local adjustments, but everything else is fine. So I'm going to copy it, and then if I go to a sim, and I'm going to bring it to this photo, which pretty much has the same type of exposure. Then what I'm going to do is paste it. Okay, so as you see, it brightens up a little bit. Yeah, so it happened. Weird. So as you see, if we bring it down, the exposure just a little bit, I mean, we fix up whatever we needed, but you pretty much have a fully edited picture. If I go back, and then you already have the edit done. So you just copy the edit from one and then bring it to the next, and that's pretty much how you get editing done. In another tutorial, I'll do more of how to do a full workflow on a wedding, but this is basically how I edit my wedding photos. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Alright guys, so as we saw, this is just one of the ways that we can make edit wedding pictures. Of course, there's many other ways. What I recommend is just to use it as one style, practice it, make it your own, see what you like, see what your clients like, which is the most important thing. Okay guys, so thanks so much for checking out the channel. Like this video if you did, comment if you will, subscribe if you haven't already, and also let any friends or family members know that would appreciate this kind of content so that they can also check out the channel. Alright guys, I will see you on the next one on Monday.